eventually. All right. Remember that. That's right. I call her Evie. That's right. Hi. There's all kinds of people. There are. Let me just grab a chair and put you over there.
Do we have extra chairs? I forgot to bring them.
I am so for you. I'm a husband.
Really? Yes, it's me. I know. I know. Here you go.
Okay, so this is good. Hi, I'll be back, I guess.
Oh, well.
I should have just ignored it. This makes no sense. I don't.
Oh, well. It was a good idea at the time.
Do you need the chair?
My husband has a
Oh, okay.
community engagement.
Yes.
Excellent.
They'll be working with committees, eventually the board, a lot of events too.
Got enough people like each other. Or a name it, you know. Anyone need another people name?
Okay, so this is any spot.
Name tag, river, water bottle, skipper.
My kid is good. Nobody falls.
Like, oh yeah, LinkedIn profile. I know. We got almost 2 decades now. I fell in love with
Hello, everyone. Just a few stragglers. Yai da dun da da dun da da dun dai. Yan dai da di dai dai. Ho da dun da di dun dai. And dun dai da di dai. Ho. Yai dai dun dai da di dai. Ho. Yai dun dai dai. Oh. Yai dai dun dai da di dai. Ho. Yai dai dai dai.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
And welcome to Temple Shir Tikva's summer home, just like Tanglewood. It is a pleasure to welcome everyone here, and especially to thank our magnificent hosts, the Retger-Lurie family, who are sharing this beautiful evening with us tonight, Roy, Mary Beth, Daniel, and Emma. It is a pleasure to be here. We are literally under the authentic original sukkah, the sheltering presence of nature, of the sky, the trees, and the setting sun. How lucky are we to be here to celebrate Shabbat together. I'm Rabbi Lisa. It's a pleasure to be here with Cantor Hollis and our drummer Max and Leah, who is going to sing with us, and John, who is playing technology tonight. So relax, please join us in prayer and in song, and just enjoy this magnificent setting together.
So let's take a moment to look around at this magnificent setting. So if you are here with us right now, look away from us and look over there, or look above us, or look anywhere you can lay your eyes on beauty. And if you are home with us as well this evening, look away from your screen. Look out the window. Find a patch of sunset, a little bit of blue or a tree, and let's all settle into this glorious, glorious Shabbat with a neshima amuka, a good deep breath or two, and inhale all of this beauty we're taking in around us now. A good deep breath. And one more. And now we turn our eyes back to one another in community, and we join together on page 343 with the words Ozi v'Zimrat Yah, words that were first sung by our ancestors near the water as they crossed to freedom through the Sea of Reeds, and words we sing by the water this evening too. Ozi v'Zimrat Yah, Vayehi Lishua. Ozi v'Zimrat Yah, Vayehi Lishua. Ozi v'Zimrat Yah,
We are going to bring more light into our hearts and into this space as we invite Lauren Rickleen forward to kindle the lights of Shabbat on this special evening, during which time her granddaughter will be named right here. Want help? We are on page 2. Here, why don't I do that? Why don't you sing and I'll do this?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat shalom, and thank you, Lord.
Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We continue on page 20 with Lecha Dodi, verses 1, 2, 5, 8, and 9. Please join us. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad hishmianu el yuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shem hu tiferet veliti la Likrat Shabbat lechuv nelcha ki lekol habracha merosh mikadam nesucha sof maseh b'machshavati Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, bnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, toreri, ki v'orech, kumi ori, uri, shir taberi kevod Adonai, alayk nigna, lecha dodi likrat kala, bnei Shabbat nekabela. Yaminu smol tifrotzi v'het Adonai, taritzi hayadish, ben patzi v'nismecha v'nagila, lecha dodi likrat kala, we rise, and if the sun is setting here, the east must be over there. We face east, over there. It's all the same. And verse 9.
Boi v'shalom aterit balagam besimcha uvitzola tochemunei am segula boi chala boi chala lechadodi likat kala penei shabbat
You may be seated, and on your way down to your seat, now would be a great time to say hello to somebody that you have never met before, perhaps, to say Shabbat Shalom to your neighbor, to someone behind you, in front of you, or next to you on this beautiful Shabbat evening.
Shabbat Shalom. Hi, Mom.
Joe's out there. Shabbat Shalom, Jackie. Same. And now we continue on page 26 with the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba Be'alma divrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon uv'yomechon Uv'chayei dichol Beit Yisrael Bagala, bagala Uv'izman kari v'himeru Amen Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach Le'olam lalmei almaya Yitbarach, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitala Shemnei dikudisha Brichu Lehilah min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran be'alma vehimeru Amen.
We rise for Baruch Hu, page 28. You may rise in body and or spirit.
Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai. 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 Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam va'ed Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai.
You may be seated, and we turn to page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna mishaneh itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or.
Umahavir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzevahot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid imloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows.
And before we say the Chatima, which will lead us into Shema, so that we do not interrupt the flow of our prayer, we do want to announce that there is a gray Chevy Volt that needs to be relocated because it is blocking someone's access. So if you are the owner of a gray Chevy Volt, we will all close our eyes for Shema, so no one will identify you. Let's close our eyes now for Shema. No one sees anything. Baruch atah Adonai,
Nicely done.
Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, V'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha,
Uvechol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha v'veitecha, uvelechtecha v'derech, uveshochbecha uvekumecha, ukshartam lehot al yadecha,
v'hayu letotafot beineinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha leman tizkeru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim leloheichem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet. In the Ve'ahavta, we just heard words that taught us that it's our responsibility to teach this tradition to the next generation, to pass these beautiful traditions we've inherited on to the future. And so in that spirit, one of the most gratifying honors of being a cantor is when I've stood on the bima with a child becoming a young adult as they are called to the Torah at their bar mitzvah, and then what seems like a minute or two later, stood beneath their chuppah to sanctify their marriage to their beshert. And then sometimes a little later, found ourselves standing together again to celebrate a new life that they have brought into the world. So in just a moment, I'll have that sublime privilege, and I'll call you up in a moment, Elise and Sam, along with your parents, Lauren and Sander, and Bob and Nancy, but most especially their brand new baby. And before we bring them up, I want to acknowledge how special it feels to me to celebrate this moment with Elise and with Sam, and how wonderful it is to feel the continuity of your growing family's presence here at TST, even TST on the lake. Your family was one of the very first I came to know when I first arrived as your baby cantor. And Elise, your parents' involvement in the vision, worship, musicianship, stewardship, guardianship of Shir Tikva's institutional memory and archival history have sustained our community through the decades of growth into the dynamic community we are today. And I can say to both of you, your wise insight has been invaluable to me all along the way. So as your family has been such a blessing to all of us, it makes celebrating this simcha as your own family grows into the next generation all the sweeter. So it's with great joy that I now invite Elise and Sam, along with their parents and their baby girl. So bring your adoring grandparents up with you to our bima on the lake together here now. And as you come on up and stand right over here where there's a microphone where you can be heard. And God said, "Let there be light." Every time a new life emerges from the womb, their response to the Creator's first command is renewed in the infant's first experience. In every birth, blessed is the wonder. In every creation, blessed is a new beginning. In every child, blessed is life. In every hope, blessed is the potential. And now we have a short reading for your grandparents. So we have a mic here and a mic here for grandparents to share. Oh. There's a couple. Right here. Anywhere you go. Oh. There's a couple.
Do I have the only copy? Oh, you have a copy.
Yes, we're good. Source of creation and new life, we are grateful for new beginnings, for the bond of life that links one generation to another.
Thankful for the blessings of family, for the love and care that brings meaning and happiness to our lives. We rejoice at the birth of this grandchild.
May Eliana Rose and her parents grow together as a family in health and in strength, in harmony, wisdom, and love.
And to your grandparents' prayer, we say amen, amen, and we invite grandparents to have a seat as we bring Elise and Sam forward to share a few words about the meaning of their child's name. Positive. Do you want to take that microphone? Positive. Right there.
All right.
Hi, little one. The
All right.
bow is too much.
Eliana Rose, whose Hebrew name is Eliana Gabrielle, was named for three matriarchs in our family. The name Eliana was chosen to honor my grandmother, Elaine, as well as my mother, Lauren, and the name Gabrielle was chosen to honor, oh God, I can't do this, to honor Sam's mother, Nancy. In Hebrew, Eliana means God has answered, fitting for her first name, and we chose the Hebrew name Gabrielle as it means strength. These three women show their strength through compassion, loyalty, and unconditional love. They exude confidence and fearlessness to achieve their goals. All of these are qualities and characteristics that these significant women within our family hold, and we hope to pass on to Ellie as she grows into her own person.
We dedicate our child to Torah, to a never-ending fascination with study, learning. With a book, she will never be alone. We dedicate our child to Huppah, to never-ending growth as a human being, capable of giving and receiving love. With loving family and friends, she will never be alone. We dedicate our child to Masim Tovim, to never-ending concern for family and community, justice and kindness. When she cares for others, she will never be alone.
All right. Am I going? Go for it. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lacha nisa b'vrit shel Avram Avinu v'Sarah imenu.
Any English there, Sam? Would you read that? Blessed are you.
Blessed are you, source of life, ruling spirits of the universe, who sacrifice us with your sanctify midst of, and has commanded us to bring your daughter into eternal covenant of our ancestors, Abraham and Sarah.
Beautiful. And little one, I get to share this blessing with you now, but it's so hard to say these words with this adorable bow in your hair. Okay, you got her? Really good. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Leah v'Rachel, kayem et hayalda hazot le'aviha ul'ima. Yikareh shema b'Yisrael, Eliana, Gabriel, bat Chasia v'Samuel. Yismach ha'av b'yotzeh chalatza v'tagel ima b'fri vitna. Zot hakatana gedola tihyeh kishem shenich nisa labrit ken tikanes laTorah ulechupa ulema'asim tovim. May God, who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, sustain this child through her parents' loving care. Let her be known among our people Israel by the name Eliana Gabriel bat Chasia v'Samuel. May her name be a source of joy to her, and may it inspire her to serve our people and all humankind. May her parents rejoice in her growth of body and soul. This little one, may she grow to be big. As her parents have brought her into the covenant, so may they, with wisdom and patience, lead her to the study of Torah, to relationships worthy of blessing, and to a life full of many good deeds. And we can all say, Amen. And it is my honor to be the first to offer you this most ancient blessing, which will follow you through your life, Eliana. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom. May God's face be lifted up towards you, and may God bless you with peace, to which we can all say Amen, and offer a shehachianu for reaching this moment. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehachianu v'kiyamanu v'yigianu lazman hazeh. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov, siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov u'mazel tov, mazel tov u'siman tov. Yeheilanu, 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 u'lecho Yisrael. Yeheilanu, Yeheilanu, u'lecho Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom and congratulations. This is Ellie's cousin who wanted to say, are you going to say Shabbat Shalom and congratulations?
Shabbat Shalom and congratulations. Cousins are awesome. We love cousins. Mazel tov, mazel tov.
Mazel tov. And actually, as I was listening to Cantor Hollis and looking out at the water and knowing that the Michamocha is next in our liturgy, Eliana Rose is the reason our ancestors prevailed. The children among us is the chief reason that our foremothers and fathers stood at the shores of the sea and decided that life was worth living and that Judaism was worth following. And so we dedicate this moment to the children all among us.
Yam bam bam bim bim bam, yabba bam bam bim bam, yam bam bam bim bim bam, yabba bam bam bim bam, yai dai da dai dai dai, yabba bam bam bim bam, yai dai da dai dai dai, yabba bam bam bim bam, mi kamocha Bayalim Adonai, mi kamocha, nedar bakodesh, norati lot, oh sefele, norati lot, oh sefele, yam bam bam bim bim bam, yabba bam bam bim bam, yam bam bam bim bim bam, yabba bam bam bim bam, yai dai da dai dai dai, yabba bam bam bim bam, yai dai da dai dai dai, yabba bam bam bim bam.
The Hashkivenu is on pages 42 and 43 as we prepare to sing this nighttime prayer. Under the sky, we think of our ancestors who looked for the tiniest bit of shelter on their way in the desert.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim, 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 l'chaim.
The Amidah for this Shabbat evening begins on page 46. You may rise in body or spirit. We will chant the beginning of the Amidah together, and then you may continue in your own space, in your own private prayers. You may sit when you come to the conclusion of your own meditations.
Adonai sifatai tivtachu fi agitei latecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasti Avot V'Imahot Umevi Gehula Livnei V'Neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei Metim Atah Rav Lehoshia Morit Atah Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechayei Metim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Nofech Olim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishnei Afar Michamocha Bal Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Mimit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'Nehemana Taleh HaChayot Mehitim Baruch atah Adonai Michayei HaMetim Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yahalelu Chaselha Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Try that. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by an unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. A word about this song, which I learned recently. As we're in Shabbat Nachamu, which we'll hear a little bit more about from Rabbi Lisa in a moment, it's a week of consolation after Tisha B'Av, and at a time where the world can feel hard and our hearts can feel heavy, we can choose to lean into despair or we can choose to lean into love. So this is a song that teaches us to lean into love. So we'll sing together. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved, we are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love.
It is with unending love that we think of those in our congregation and beyond who are ill and in need of healing. Whether they are in need of healing of the body, spirit, mind, or soul, we think of them on Shabbat and every day together with their caretakers, and we call their names and ask for strength. From Temple Shir Tikva. Abba Noach ben Yehudit, Eliza Dorfman, Aviva Sigalit Batvora, Barbara Lanzet, Barbara Zimmon, David Feldman, Diane McCaslin, Dina Luton, Emma Held, Ethan Kadish, Gemma Rose Nicoletti, Harav Nechama bat Yaakov Vernice, James Nicoletti, Jeremy Pivor, Julian Arce, Karen Gordon, Leah bat Fegala, Lily Stander, Lisa Shapiro, Mark Lampert, Meir Abba ben Reuven, Moshe Yoel ben Esther va'Avraham, Nechama bat Trena Razel, Pam Ross, Peter Gross, Robert Friedman, Ron Abramson, Sam Goldenberg, Sarah Fega bat Malka, Sarit Liat bat Penina Sarah, Stephen Rose, Susan Hoyer, Susan Scheller, Tyson Botinas, Yosef Ben Gittel, Catherine Giles, Margaret Sweeney, Susan Stone, Bernice Slater, Elizabeth Day, Malkiel Shlomo HaKohen ben Rivka v'Yehuda Leib, Ari Khan Rocholea bat Golda, Declan Alexander Kenny, Stephen Krasner, Pinchas Aaron ben Shalom Mordechai v'Saralea, Mutalibel bat Bess, Mark Volk, Yehuda Aryeh ben Moshe Mordechai, Sheldon Zimmerman, Yitzhak ben Gershon Veneta, Charlie Carroll, Herbert Levine, Valerie Kenny, Sean Porter, Sylvia Wolfson. Are there any others you would like to mention either in your hearts or aloud, and you may do the same if you are at home.
מי שברך אבותינו ואמותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, שרה, רבקה, רחל ולאה, הוא יברך את החולים. הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם, לכך לימם ורפותם ולכך חזיקם, וישלח להם מהרה רפואה שלמה מן השמיים, רפואת הנפש, רפואת הגוף, השתה בגלה ובזמן קריב, ונאמר Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh HaCholim. Blessed are you, O God, whose strength helps to bring healing. And we say together, Amen. Last week, I spent a few days with our daughter Rosie in Burlington, Vermont. Of course, we had a wonderful time, but there were some differences I noticed since our last visit there. From Mount Pelier to Burlington, the remnants of recent storms were everywhere. The flash flooding had turned the beautiful rivers and streams from their usual pristine clarity to rushing mudslicks. Plants and flowers were flooded out, fields with summer crops were submerged, and wildlife, both on land and in water, did not all survive the sudden and severe rains and runoff that followed. And then, once in Burlington, I noticed a thick cloud of haze suspended over those beautiful green mountains, obscuring the view of the gentle, rolling landscape. The warnings on our phones reminded us that the air quality was dangerous due to the raging Canadian wildfires. We were urged to avoid being outdoors. How can you be in Burlington, Vermont in the summer and not swim in the lake, enjoy the babbling brooks, pick strawberries, and walk and bike in nature? Today, we understand science, climate change, and meteorology. But it occurred to me that our biblical forebears would have gazed up at the skies and down at the rivers and desperately sought a moral explanation for what they saw. They would have seen these interruptions in nature to be messages from above, from a deity, an energy, a power. Call it what you wish. They would have interpreted the devastation as signs to teach us about ancient Judaism as it differentiated itself from other local religions. They would have believed that these frightening occurrences were emanating from a commanding God who was imploring us to look at our own behavior and understand that we human beings have the power to affect the world positively and negatively. Judaism's first innovation may have been monotheism, one God, but its true contribution was behaving morally according to the call of this monotheistic God. This was the birth of ethical monotheism. As we learned this week from Rabbi Danny's superb writing on Wednesday evening, as we entered Tisha B'Av, the solemn day that comes each year to instruct us about the past and to offer lessons for the future. From ancient times until today, ethical monotheism teaches us that there are consequences for our actions and that we are responsible for ourselves and one another. As Rabbi Danny pointed out, we are reminded on Tisha B'Av that the first and second temples in Jerusalem were destroyed more from strife within the Jewish community than even that at the hands of those from the outside, the Babylonians and the Romans. People's intolerance, cruelty toward one another, arrogance, and hatred caused the Jewish community to become fractured and vulnerable, leading to its demise both in 537 BCE and then again in 70 CE, and in numerous subsequent events through Jewish history. As I reflected on Tisha B'Av this week, I wondered, what happened in Israel this past week, just prior to Tisha B'Av, be remembered centuries from now as a likewise dark moment in Jewish and Zionist history? Will this week's important events in our young Jewish state, in its ancient land, be added to the list of floods and fires and tragedy that we assign en masse to Tisha B'Av each year, the sad summer day of mourning and fasting? The floods and fires would have signaled moral corruption in times of the Bible. The floods and fires that would have signaled moral corruption in biblical times were reflected this week in a destructive assault on Israel's democracy. I sat with a group of more than 1,000 Jewish leaders from North America on a webinar briefing earlier in the week from Israel and listened to the leaders of our reform movement here in Israel and across the globe, together with Orly Erez-Lichovsky, the executive director of the Israel Religious Action Center, Anna Kislansky, the director of Israel Movement for Progressive Judaism, and Knesset member Gilad Kariv, the first Reform rabbi to serve in Israel's Knesset. Just hours after the historic vote, exhausted and devastated, they explained the Knesset's unprecedented decision on Monday that will prevent the Supreme Court from intervening in unreasonable decisions made by the government of Israel. The ramifications of this vote, we know, for Israel's democracy are critical. In essence, it means that the process of judicial review is under threat, and that the checks and balances between lawmakers and judges, between the Knesset and the Supreme Court, will be severely weakened. The progressive Israeli leaders on the webinar pointed out that the Knesset's decision is only the tip of an iceberg, the first among a long list of proposed changes to Israel's judicial system that, as one of them said, quote, shake the foundations of our democratic state. I am not a politician, nor do I play one on TV. There are literally hundreds of articles, op-eds, commentaries in the international press this week about this unfortunate landmark decision in the Knesset. You can read about it daily and hourly from every viewpoint and perspective. What I would like to share with you on this Shabbat, one day after Tisha B'Av, was the hope that our partners in Israel expressed even in the shadow of their disappointment. Just hours after losing a fight, they battled 4 months. What was amazing to me was the resilience they demonstrated in the face of an existential crisis in their homeland and their own personal disillusionment. 1, they expressed their admiration for all in Israel who have gone out to the streets and awakened the Israeli public to the ideals of democracy, equity, and equality for all. 2, they spoke about the transformation of the Israelis who had for years been indifferent bystanders, who now have turned to become upstanders in the struggle to maintain Israel's democracy. 3, the leaders praised those on the moderate right who, though having voted for the current government, nevertheless have been persuaded to raise their voices together with those on the left against extremism. 4, they expressed pride that though Israel's current government minimizes the importance of demonstrations, the voice of the people does matter, and that there is power in peaceful protest. 5, finally, though this week's battle may have been lost, our leaders reflected on the progress that has been made to build a new grassroots liberal movement in Israel, working from the municipalities, towns, and cities, and getting Israelis out to vote. The leaders praised liberal Israelis for reclaiming the Israeli flag by protecting democracy in the name of Judaism. Protecting democracy in the name of Judaism. There must be room for more than one party to stand for democracy, more than one authentic interpretation and practice of Judaism. Rabbi Kariv said, and I quote, "Our goal is to build a tent of peace, but push the extremists to the sides so that the moderate voices can come together to lead," end quote. Tisha B'Av is not just about pain, fires, floods, destruction, and tears. It is about reflecting on who we are and strengthening ourselves to work for the future. The Jewish people we know has direct experience with tragedy. However, woven into the fabric of Judaism is the conviction that light follows darkness, morning comes after night, hope springs from the depths of suffering. This is what we heard from the Israeli leaders of the progressive movements this week. So too with Tisha B'Av. The weeks that follow Tisha B'Av are known as Sheva Dinechemta, the 7 weeks of consolation. For the next 7 weeks, we read words from the prophets of healing and comfort and rebuilding. And then something wonderful happens. Just as there are 49 days between the spring festivals of Pesach and Shavuot, so too are there 7 weeks, 49 days between Tisha B'Av and Rosh Hashanah. The lowest moment on our calendar, Tisha B'Av, evolves over 7 weeks into the renewal and return of Rosh Hashanah, the new year. For Jews, hope springs eternal. There is nothing we cannot conquer if we are introspective, sincere, and repentant. We rise out of the ashes and move from disillusionment back to tikkun olam, to perfecting our planet and insisting on justice here in Israel, throughout the world, for all people. Yesterday, Rosie sent us a photo from Middlebury, Vermont. She was outside in the sun, standing on a footbridge with a river beneath her and the verdant mountains against the deep, deep blue sky above. Morning will come. Shabbat Shalom. A few reminders for the weekend that I can remember. Tomorrow morning, Minyan, 8:30, followed by Torah study at 9:30, hybrid, both at Temple Shir Tikva and on Zoom. The next day, Sunday, I have Torah Talk, which is all online. Please join us via Zoom for very animated conversation about the book of 1 Kings. No experience is necessary. I don't know what else is happening.
282.
We continue on page 282 and rise in body or spirit for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא לתקן עולם במלכות שדי ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
The text of the Kaddish may be found on page 294. During this week, we remember those of this congregation and its families who died at this time in years past, for whom we observe Yartzeit, and those who died more recently, whose families observe Shaloshim, the 30-day period of mourning. We read the name of one who died in the past week, Eula Yellen, who is the mother of Jonathan Elman and Eula Jensen, the mother of two Nielsen. We also remember those whose yahrzeits occur this week. Deanna Beaumont, Ruth Bloom, Dora Blumenthal, Ruth Cohen, Jan Dash, Cecile Davidovici, Dimitri P. Deluzio, Susan Fine, Anne Friedberg, Leon Gainsborough, Hyman Green, Alexander Herbort, Isabel Kahn, David Carr, Henrietta Letterman, Marilyn Levy, Charles Levine, Laser V. Lewton, Ezra Mayer, Joseph Porter, Noel Richard Rose, Jacob Rosen, Samuel Sandler, Herbert Louis Schachter, Kalman Shore, Eleanor Schwartz, Devorah Sharon, Sylvia Schwab, Miriam Snyder, Donald Steingesser, Arthur Tapper, Rissel Zipper. Are there any others you would like remembered tonight? Please feel free. We take all of them into our hearts and recite Kaddish, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bi'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekudesha barichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. May God, who makes peace in the heavens above, bring peace to us, to Israel, to all humanity, and especially to those who mourn. We will close with Kiddush and Motzi, which I trust is here.
Yes, so as the wine and grape juice are going around, it would be delightful if baby Eliana's family are nearby and they'd like to come back up again so we can kvel over this little one while we make Kiddush. And as baby Eliana is coming up, let's just say one more word of thanks to Roy and to Mary Beth and to Emma and Daniel for hosting us in this evening.
Yeah.
And to Rabbi Lisa for her beautiful words, to John for all of your technological assistance and heavy lifting literally, and to Leah for her singing and organizing of everything, and to Max for adding drums this evening. So we lift our Kiddush cups high and we sing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei
B'ri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchiltanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'yotanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha b'ahava uvratzon Hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. If you're going to make me do that, we're going to pick a different key.
I was entranced. And now we find our challah, which I think might be in that basket, and we say together, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Yain dai 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 and dai 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, friends. Good Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom.
Oh, you're awesome.
That was great.
engineer with Yahoo. So it has been hard to lay off. I finally got it June 30th for my last day. I was expecting it for a while, I don't know the exact date. So.
How long have you been?
Well, 12 years. It's from a startup
Sam and I were
bought by
laughing
another
about
company.
how she did my bat mitzvah and then our marriage.
That is
I
so
pretty miserable there, so I stayed too
Everybody's
long.
like, fine, we'll take mom.
And I took a ridiculous amount. So
Perfect.
feel free to grab and
So now I'm figuring out what is
I was going to take a picture.
figuring out what's next.
I was like, this is really pretty.
Right, John? Yeah. I want to do, I'm not going to get out of technology, but I don't want to be like a individual contributor. I'd like to parlay some of my knowledge, my experience and wisdom from that business.
Yes,
Something
okay.
else, but I'm not quite sure.
Yes. I was going to say, you look so familiar, and I'm trying to like think.
And they helped me set up council. It was council of 4 people, and we go through the book, and it's figure out what you want, what you don't want, what's not have, go on a listening tour, talk to the people that you know about how what you want fits in the market, and so forth, and only then do you your resume, reach out and network. So I'm kind of in that.
This is called Don't.
The book is called Don't Never Search Alone.
Never
Search Alone.
Oh, good. Yeah. The only reason I hesitated was just because it goes until 5 p.m. And then with her. Normally I would be like, yeah, I love it, but it's 8:30 to 5. At her side. And then,
So what happened on probably was a side
Oh, he's a coach there.
it's amazing.
We did you would say
Digital film stuff.
we were really close. The Warring Center in Birmingham?
The ice hockey?
Yeah.
PSI, right over here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that new one. Yeah. So that's our rivals. That's Crimson.
No, but the ice.
Charles River Aquatic Center.
Yeah.
And that's actually for our old swim team. That was our big rival.
So I have to tell you, I have 5 kids, and cousins and more. You don't understand how foster care works. So he won't let me foster any more babies because last time I fostered a baby, I kept the baby.
Where did you foster?
She's like out of frame. He works.
That's where I work for him.
No way.
Yeah.
In what capacity?
I'm an adolescent social worker. I'm also the court. And I also do foster care.
Okay, so like for people like people like me.
Yeah.
We actually have a dorm.
Wow. So they learn and work.
Yeah. Holly's not there right now. She's on medical.
Which is also
And I've been working forever with Jean. She's been my social worker.
So she'll be a senior.
She'll be, okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah. So she'll be a senior when college is ready.
That's awesome.
You are
Shannon's amazing. Yeah, one of our probably one of the strongest workers I've had. Especially with the things she's gone through and then still going through. Like, right? It's amazing.
Okay.
You guys the color guard with the marching band, flags. You've been doing that for last week or 30 years. She loves that.
Yeah.
And Jason will be a freshman.
Check that thing because I want to stir it up.
Oh, that's neat. So they'll be in school together 1 year.
Yeah.
5 years later?
Yeah. They're great. They're doing their number. That's why every time like when you got
The people you're recruiting.
Yeah.
I don't want to take
It's good. Yeah, there's that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm an older dad. I didn't get married till 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we talked about it.
Right. Yeah. Somebody's already certified, very certified, everything else. It's great.
But I was married.
Like every 6 months, I did an overnight placement. I was like,
That's hard.
Yeah, well, I hope that
Yeah.
Awesome. Trying to enjoy summer and
That's a start.
the goal is not to like send them resumes willy-nilly and try to be
Right.
part of it.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see it.
I've been there for 7 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so
Been adolescents all 7 years. Been adolescents for all 7 years. But I love to do like different things like foster care.
Yeah.
It's so different. I do hotline as well, so I do after-hour stuff, and then I love doing like the foster care stuff because it's such a need and it's such a happy part of my job that I don't really get to do.
Yeah.
You know, the part of like actually kind of bring people in who want to help.
I'm just gonna go put her in the next
I'm really, my thing is like,
this is like,
oh no, that's do you ever have yes, this is his passion.
my burning passion.
It is your burning passion. Wait, is this not for you? Okay, sorry, bye.
I always tell him, he knows with Stevie for life. I want to, this is what I want to do. I saw someone who came in, I was a mentor. I did residential work first.
Where?
At TST Wayland, New Hampshire. And then I did community services. And I did third degree services. And then I got someone as a DCF, and I kind of figured what they were doing. Like, I want to do that. I want that.
You have that? Okay, so I'm gonna do it.